You are listening to Three Kitchens, a member of the Alberta Podcast Network. Locally grown, community supported. Join your hosts, Aaron Walker, Heather Dyer, and Sarah Somasundaram for some good old home cooking.
Today's episode of Three Kitchens is sponsored by Pod Power. With Pod Power, our sponsors are making it possible for us to amplify the voices of Albertans with Alberta podcasters. This episode, the Edmonton Community Foundation is helping us give a Pod Power shout out to Bookwoman.
Bookwomen is a podcast about editing, publishing, and writing Indigenous stories. Three Métis librarians representing nations from across the homeland aim to inspire Indigenous peoples to share their stories in whatever form that they enjoy.
Guests include Indigenous stories from diverse mediums like podcasting, burlesque, books, comics, social media, films, music, and everything in between. You can listen and find out more at bookwomenpodcast.ca.
And welcome. Here we are once again, Three Kitchens podcast. I'm Heather. I'm here with Sarah and Aaron. Hello.
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 And we're going to be talking food. But first, Sarah, tell us what you were up to this week. Yeah.
Food icons first, right?
Yes, it's been a crazy week, but on, what was it, Tuesday night.
Lost track.
I can't even remember what day it is. It's been a nutty week. But so my favorite chef, Roy Choi, he had a kickoff party, I guess, for season 2 of Broken Bread. And it was live streamed on the Tastemade website. And Wolfgang Puck was on it. And Chef Alice Waters.
Ah, yes, from
Chez Panisse.
Yeah, just if you guys haven't caught Broken Bread, season 1 of Broken Bread, it is food around like ethical and sustainable themes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so each episode will talk about a different aspect of life and how to keep eating good food while having a certain amount of consciousness around the environment. So I got to hang out with him for 2 hours. It was fantastic. And then I took a picture. I just had to tell everyone of me watching the show. And he liked my post, guys. He liked my post on Instagram. So I just over the moon every hour on the hour. I reminded my family about it. And they were so annoyed with me. But
isn't it like the quickest you've ever gotten out of bed or texted us?
Oh yeah, I actually jumped out of bed and I was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and I saw that he liked my post, right? So
yeah, the next morning my phone beeped and I was like, "Oh, this is Heather telling me we have to work out today." No, it's Sarah. Roy Choi.
Roy Choi likes my photo.
I was like, wow, she does get up early. She lies.
So anyway, Broken Bread season 1 and 2 now you can stream for free on Tastemade.
Ah.
So you guys should check it out. It's a really, really good show. It's a little bit emotional. It's really fantastic. And lots of different themes. One of them is cannabis cooking in season 1. And in season 2, I think they get released every week.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. And then tag him again. Don't forget to tag him on this episode, guys. So
it's okay.
Like our post
Okay, we'll do. Roy Choi, we're coming for you.
That's right.
Your number 1 fan is...
Wow, did this just go from like fun and enjoyable to somewhat threatening? We're coming for you. Sleep with one eye open.
Yeah. Only on social media.
Wow.
Okay.
So Sarah's dream came true. She was hanging out in Roy Choi's food truck.
Virtual
food truck. So Heather.
Yes. Here we are.
Can we have your attention, please?
What the listeners don't know is that we have been talking about all sorts of things that probably won't actually be in the episode, but that have taken us on little tangents. And
yeah, it's been a bit of a broken episode. I had to leave halfway through to go fetch a kid from school. So
it's the world we live in.
It's the magic of editing.
So I wish we could take a journey to Italy because this is an Italian recipe. Maybe one day we can do that.
I'm pretty sure if I go to Italy, I will never come back. That's what I keep saying.
Very possible. We don't get to go there, but we get to eat something that is an Italian recipe. Have you had cannoli before?
Yes.
I have.
I don't actually think I've ever eaten it, but I'm going to make it. It is a fried pastry shell with traditionally a ricotta filling in it, a sweet filling.
Oh, is that what's in it?
Yes. But you know me and dairy, we're not always friends. So I am going to make the ricotta because I think the milk fat's actually quite low. I think it's only like 4% or something.
Right.
But I thought I might also make that uber delicious coconut whipped cream that Erin made for us for the persimmon pudding.
That's right.
And I might fill some of them with that because that's just so damn delicious. And then I can eat more of it.
I've maybe had it once or twice. And I think both times I was like, it's nothing to really write home about.
Oh.
So.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out.
I better like them. No.
Or else.
No, I'm interested to see.
So the cannolis that I have had have like a lemony kind of taste to it. The filling has a lemony taste.
The filling
to it.
does?
Yeah. Is that what the recipe says? Okay.
Let's see what the recipe says. So the dough is flour, icing sugar, salt, egg, butter, marsala wine.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting, right? And a very small amount of cocoa powder. It's like this odd sort of recipe. You're going to make your dough, a soft dough, knead it about 10 minutes so you get, a nice ball.
Yeah.
Rest for 30 minutes or up to 2 hours.
Okay.
You're going to be rolling the dough out very thin to about 1/16 of an inch. I don't even know how to tell when I've gotten to that, but I'm figuring if I use Erin's pasta bike to roll it out, this might help.
That's right.
Yeah. I think so.
It's available for you for sure.
Good. Yeah. So I thought that would make it easy. So what you're making is, and then you cut them into like a 3 or 4 inch round. So you're making little circles with this thin dough that's been rolled out.
Yeah.
And then what you do is wrap each one around what they call a cannoli mold, and then use an egg wash to kind of where it overlaps so it sticks together. And then you put that whole thing, deep fry it on the mold. So instead of buying them, I had my husband go buy a wooden dowel. I believe it's an inch dowel, and cut it into pieces and sand it down. And then we used walnut oil to kind of seal it. They're about 5 inches long.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that gives you a sense. So it's going to be wrapped around here. It's going to be about, you can see how small that is. It's going to be about that big. And then you pipe your filling in each end.
Yeah.
And after it's fried, you take it off there, obviously. You pipe your filling in each end and you dip it into whatever kind of fun. Sometimes you see it with mini chocolate chips or pistachios or dried fruit or something usually on the end.
I can't believe you've already made these dowels. I'm sorry. The amount of effort already, I'm just like, wow.
I was like, I'm not, because I think if you bought them, they're metal.
Oh,
but I was like, I'm not going to track that down and buy them. So I saw a DIY and someone said you can just make them out of wood. And I was like, well, let's do that. One of them has gone missing. It's so funny. It's the mystery in the house right now because he cut 10 of these out of the dowel that he bought.
Yeah.
We only have 9 and they were on the counter the first day. And I think the cat knocked a few of them down, but I picked them up and then I was like, one is missing. And I don't know if it like rolled way far under the fridge where I just can't, because I've been looking and I can't find it. It's disappeared. Anyway,
it'll turn up years later.
Yeah. So if you make the traditional ricotta filling, it has ricotta. You whip the ricotta like with your stand mixer.
Yeah.
And then you sift in powdered sugar and you kind of fold it in. And that's it. So ricotta and powdered sugar.
What made you want to make cannolis?
I don't know. I wish I had like some sort of lovely story, whatever. I don't really. I was just like, what could we do? And my friend is going to help me. We're making them together. So just in case it's a 2-person job, I don't know. Yeah. And I'm not that experienced deep frying stuff. I have to say deep frying intimidates me a little bit.
But your rosettes turned out fantastic at Christmas. So
okay, well,
if anyone
those
can
are
do
pretty
this,
easy.
you can do it, Heather.
Oh, thank you.
You can do it.
I find it really difficult to maintain the temperature of the oil on my gas stove. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Oh, I saw a chef show about somebody who had been making cannolis for generations and generations, and they were rolling out each little disc individually.
That's why I want to borrow the pasta bake.
I would borrow the pasta bake.
It's supposed to be super thin, and you want it consistent as well. You don't want thicker bits and thinner bits, right? So that's why I think it would be hard to, maybe generations upon generations, you've learned to roll it well.
When we lived in our condo in Earlton, we used to go to this place called Mercado a lot, which is like that version of Lena's, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to eat a lot of cannolis. In fact, my daughter, she was in my tummy at that time. She was formed with chocolate cake, cannolis, cannellonis, and ravioli.
Oh,
just Mercado. My daughter is made from Mercado food.
So she's like half Italian and half Japanese.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, kiddo. You can't ever escape it. I know.
So I guess that recipe didn't mention lemon, Sarah, but I would think I've seen recipes for chocolate cannoli.
Different kinds, right?
So even the dough is made a bit different, and then the filling would be chocolate. So I think you could probably flavor that. I mean, ricotta and icing sugar, you can flavor that in whatever way you like, I would think.
That'll go any which way for sure.
That'll be exciting to have one of those again. It's been a long time.
It also has the marsala in the dough, which I thought was an interesting, I wonder how that flavor comes through, right? Well, I have some of that, but I also have some of the one that you gave me. So we could maybe use the milder one. Maybe not the super heavy sweet one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I wonder if it'll be nice enough on Saturday that we could do the frying outside. Have to think about it, how cold we might like to be or not.
Just drink enough wine while you do it and you'll always stay warm.
Okay, so what kind of oil would you use if you were doing this?
I would use something neutral flavored.
Sunflower oil?
What about coconut? I have like a big tub of it. Does coconut oil work for deep frying?
I don't know. Let's see.
Sarah, Google it.
Yeah, it's excellent for deep frying.
Oh, well, maybe we'll use that. I've got like a giant tub of it. That might be the thing.
Is it help to use coconut oil for deep fry? Yes, it's really good to use coconut oil for frying stuff up, but deep frying is not good for you. Sorry.
She just made an obscene gesture.
That's right.
If you're going to deep fry something, just go for it.
Have fun.
It's not like you're deep frying things every day. And this is dessert.
Exactly.
This is not like the meal. So
yeah, I can't wait to try it. That's like, it's just bringing memories for me.
I don't think I really liked it that much when I did have it. There was nothing special about it. Maybe it wasn't well done, or I have not ever been to Italy, so
that doesn't matter. I went there and I didn't eat it, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember eating it. I just ate my weight in gelato. That was my preferred.
If anyone would like to donate
dessert.
to Send Aaron to Italy Fund, you can.
What is that called? What are those funds called?
GoFundMe?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, yeah.
Send Aaron to Italy without her children, preferably.
Send me back to Japan, guys. If you're doing this, then.
Where are you going, Heather? I haven't heard.
I'm not sure yet.
Pick one.
I'll pick anyone, anywhere. Honestly, I'd like to go to Portugal. I've never been there.
There you go, Portugal.
Yeah, I'll drink all the wine.
We're close to each other, Heather. We can. Spain's our halfway point.
Yeah.
Done.
Let's hit all three. Well, stay tuned for cannoli treats coming your way.
Yes.
Join us in La La Land. Tell us where you want to go.
Yeah.
Share your dreams.
Where do you want to listen to this podcast from?
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yep. You can listen to us anywhere.
That's right.
Don't forget.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Park Power, your friendly local utilities provider in Alberta, offering internet, electricity, and natural gas with low rates, awesome service, and profit sharing with local charities.
In Alberta, you get to choose who to buy your internet, electricity, and natural gas from. If you switch providers, nothing changes about the delivery of these utilities to your home or business. If you have an existing contract, you're going to want to find out the terms before leaving. If you don't, then it's even easier to sign up for Park Power.
You as the consumer have the choice of who you pay your bills to. Why not choose your friendly local utilities provider? Learn more at parkpower.ca.
Welcome back, everybody. I feel like it's been a while since I made these cannolis, so I hope I remember exactly what went down. I feel like
so much happens in a week that now a week is like a month, it feels like.
Yeah, and let's not forget it's February, which is like, I don't know what happens in February, but it's like time has no meaning. Everything's like
nothing has meaning.
Backward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I made the cannoli, not just me, I had a friend, but I'm just going to talk as though it was just me. Not that she wasn't there to help me, but it's just easier than trying to remember that we did this.
Okay.
These cannoli. Okay, so let me tell you what was in the dough. I think I went through ingredients before, but let's just quickly recap. 2 cups of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of cocoa powder. Now you tell me, what is the point of a 1/4 teaspoon of cocoa powder?
Color?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I honestly have no idea.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Well, and I wanted to ask because I was like, what's the point of this? I don't know. 2 tablespoons of icing sugar, pinch of salt, 1 egg, an 1/8 cup of cold butter, 1/4 cup of marsala wine, more if needed. So this is your liquid that's going in there.
Right.
Okay.
Oil for frying and an egg for egg wash to seal the little rolls, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Okay, you're basically just mixing it by hand, kind of making a dough and putting in enough wine to form a ball. Pretty simple. And then take it out and knead it for about 10 minutes on the counter. And then you've got a ball of dough that you cover, leave to sit for 30 minutes up to 2 hours. I think ours sat for about an hour.
Okay.
And then we used Aaron's little pasta bike, which is that machine that rolls out the dough. And it worked fantastic on at least the first round.
Okay.
So I took a chunk of it, maybe a third of it or a quarter of it. I rolled it out just a little bit with a rolling pin to kind of get it flattening, because this is kind of a stiff dough. This is not like nice and soft, fluffy dough. It's quite stiff. That was, I think, why the pasta bike worked so well, was because if we were just rolling this by hand, it would have been quite difficult to get it thin. And you want it to be 1/16 of an inch is how thin you want the dough to be. So I think to roll it with a rolling pin, being that it's kind of a stiff dough, would have been a bit of work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're an Italian grandma, you're used to making these
with the rolling muscles.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you're okay, but I was happy to have the pasta bike because I think that helped.
Can I say that, like, all these times that I have seen people rolling out pasta or rolling out these doughs by hand in Italy, they always have a much lower countertop or work surface to work on. So they can kind of like put their weight on it and roll it, because I always feel like when I'm rolling out things by hand, I'm like up on my tippy toes trying to get that like effort and force behind me, because I just, they all have these lower work surfaces.
Yeah. Maybe that would make the difference. Like maybe use the kitchen table instead of the countertop or something. Yeah. Good point. Okay. So we rolled it out quite thin, and then you use a 3.5 to 4 inch cookie cutter or whatever round shape. I used a little glass bowl. That's what I had that was big enough.
Perfect.
To cut out little rounds. And then you're going to wrap that around your form. So we had the wooden dowel.
Right.
And you can also get, I think if you buy an actual cannoli form, it's usually made of metal and it's hollow.
Yes.
These were just little 5-inch long, I think an inch dowel, I think. So you wrap it around, and then where it overlaps, you use the egg wash to press it down to stick it together. And then you put the whole thing into the deep fry pot. So we actually used coconut oil, which worked great. And I actually think I've always had a little bit of trouble with deep frying on my gas stove because keeping the temperature consistent can be a challenge because it does seem to get hotter and hotter as it goes. Like, I don't know how to keep it consistent. I don't know. Yeah, I found the coconut oil seemed a bit more stable that way. It didn't like jump up the temperature the way like a vegetable oil tends to. Anyway, and it wasn't as stinky, you know. Sometimes like hot oil is a bit stinky in your kitchen. The coconut oil worked great, I thought. So you pop that in there. We just did one at a time. I think it would really depend on the size of your pot, how many you could do at once. And you don't want them to stick to each other. No. And you want to be able to get your tongs in there and flip them around. You need to be able to kind of turn it to get, because they float. So you need to get all sides. And that was a little bit tricky given the size of the pot. Try to get a wider pot. You don't need it super deep because they float, right? And then just enough room to get your tongs in, and you kind of have to roll it and hold it there because it tends to want to flip back around.
Got it. Okay. So do you think that if you had used that metal dowel and it was hollow inside, would it have just sank then, maybe? Because then the oil would have gone through.
That's what I was just going to ask too, because wood float.
I wonder.
Yeah.
You don't want it to sink right to the bottom and stick.
Exactly.
So they must be made to float the way you want them to float. I do think you need some sort of form though. Like I had read that, in a pinch, you could like form some tinfoil, put it around. I don't think it would have worked as well. And it would have been hard to handle. I think getting it in and out and then getting your finished shell off the dowel. That wasn't really my job. I'll just say my friend was doing that part. She mastered it. I think you have to kind of twist it a little bit and then pull it. Like you have to be a little bit careful because once they're fried, they're a little bit crispy when they come out, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if the metal slides a bit better. Like maybe it's designed
to not stick, maybe, or
I mean, the wood worked. Absolutely. And it's a cheap,
fantastic,
easy way to do it. If you've got the tools to cut one up and sand it down, worked great. So that's it. I mean, it's fairly simple. You're making a dough, you're rolling it thin, cutting it in circles, wrapping it around a mold, and then deep frying it. So pretty simple. I found the dough sat like that's why I said the first chunk of it that I put through worked perfectly.
Yeah.
I think it got harder to work with as it sat. So I kept it wrapped up in plastic while we were using one. And then I go to get the next piece. It's a bit stiffer. The last chunk of it was like, wow, this is not rolling out well. It seemed to dry out and kind of stiffen up really quick. And I don't know why.
Maybe it was the gluten, just like forming more gluten bonds or whatever they do.
Maybe we were not moving as fast as I don't know.
So would you suggest then to roll out all of them straight away first and then start the process?
Yeah, maybe get them rolled and in your little circles, get your little circles made and maybe just cover those up with a damp towel or plastic or something and then
go,
as opposed to leaving it in a ball.
Right.
Because I don't know why it just felt like I was like, why is this so stiff as we're going? It's getting harder to roll.
Yeah.
I mean, it still worked and everything, but I think the ones that were a bit puffier and had more air in them were the earlier ones. They just seemed lighter and easier and
very interesting.
But I would say that the good part about the cannoli is the filling more so than the cookie part, right? The pastry.
Right.
I like both, but yeah, definitely.
So, well, maybe it's the whole package.
The filling's where you get to have fun.
So when we made them at my house, we did the ricotta because I had forgotten to put the coconut cream in the fridge overnight, which is what you need to do to make coconut whipped cream. You need to put that in to chill.
It has to be cold.
I had forgotten and was like, I'm not even going to attempt to whip up this warm coconut cream. So I had the ricotta because I wanted to give it a try. And so we did it according to this recipe. Oh, by the way, I'm using a recipe from cucinabyelena.com.
The dancing kitchen? I'm trying to translate it because I'm weird. That's all.
Cucina means kitchen by Elena. Elena is the person who is cooking.
I thought
Cucina.
maybe I was thinking
Baila? What
bailar.
are you thinking? Baila? Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was thinking bailar.
you thought my pronunciation was just so crap that she must have meant.
Well, no, I thought it's the Italian side. So maybe in
Oh.
Italy it's Silena, where baila
Oh.
is the Spanish. I don't know. Come on. We're taking everyone on a linguistic butchering here.
Yeah. I think it's Elena. By
Okay.
Elena. Okay.
Bye, Elena. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I like that though.
Just
I like
keep that
dancing in the kitchen. That sounds pretty good.
That's what I was.
It sounds good. So whipped ricotta, you're just whipping it and then you're folding in powdered sugar, and that's it.
Okay.
And then you pipe it in either end, because attempting from one end all the way through to the other end doesn't work. It's like, it's not going all the way. You kind of put it in one end, put it in the other end, dip each end into traditionally, apparently mini chocolate chips is quite popular. So I had that.
Yeah.
And also chopped pistachios was the other thing I used.
That was the good stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I would just say ricotta, not a lot of flavor there. I mean, I liked tasting the sort of traditional way of doing it. None of us were like wowed by it. We were kind of like, yeah, they're pretty good, I guess. Like, you know, we had my family and then my friend Lisa and her husband, and we were all kind of like, yeah, I guess they're good. But there was nothing like, this is like, yum, I want another one, you know?
And there was no like extract or flavoring with the ricotta.
Nope. Just a bit of sugar.
But you could do that, right?
I was going to say, I wonder if putting something like a vanilla extract or some sort of lemon juice or something in there would taste good.
Yeah. So we talked about how, remember Sarah was talking about Mercado. You would find all kinds of fillings, I think. And even the dough, you would find chocolate cannoli like sometimes even the pastry is flavored differently. This was trying to be a very traditional,
basic
recipe. The Sicilian cannoli. Right. Here's your kind of traditional recipe.
Right.
Yeah. So we weren't wowed by the filling. So the next day when I made them for you guys, I did have the coconut cream in the fridge overnight. So I made the coconut whipped cream, which is just whipping up your coconut cream and adding icing sugar into it. I added a bit of lemon zest and just a little lemon juice to that.
Yes.
Because I wanted just a little something. Even though I love that coconut cream and I could just eat that like straight up, like coconut cream with icing sugar. That's like,
it may or may not have been piped out of the bag into my mouth at some point.
Exactly. Put it in a bowl with a spoon. I will just eat that. Like, so tasty. So I thought that was for my taste, I like that much better than the ricotta.
Right.
So tell me what you thought.
I thought it was so good, and definitely tasted the lemon in it.
Okay, yeah.
Which I loved because that reminded me of the stuff I used to buy from Mercado. And the kids were with me, so obviously I did share. And so we had a really fun time piping and putting that all together. And I thought it was delicious. I think you did good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. I was surprised by how much the dough had puffed. Like when you said that you were rolling it so thin, and then I got them out and I was like, wow, this dough seems like way thicker than I expected. Like I almost expected it to be flat and crispy, but it was kind of puffy and crispy.
It wasn't like bready or anything. It was crunchy.
It was crispy.
Yeah.
I think if I could go back, because it wasn't as crispy fresh because they were a day late.
Right.
Or maybe I'll say not late. I feel like I'm shaming
They
you.
were day old cannoli.
You were late. They had not been made fresh that day. When it sits overnight, the moisture gets in there and then it's not as crispy. I wonder if just popping it in the toaster oven or even the oven for a little bit to warm it up and crisp it again would have worked. But I was trying to taste like the marsala in there.
I know.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to think about because you said there was cocoa powder in it before, and I was trying. Nope.
I know, right?
But I loved the cream in there, like the coconut cream and then the little toppings.
They are much better straight out of the oil, cool, pipe, eat.
Like anything deep fried, obviously. It would be best right out of the pan or pot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like it's just so cool that you made them.
Yeah. They were fun to make. I'd have to say they're kind of fun. And if you want something that's not really any more difficult than, say, a rolled cut cookie, but it's a little kind of like elevated. You want something a little fancy.
Yeah.
Maybe you're having like people over or something, or if you're having like tea, I could see it like on a tray for like high tea or something, because they look
that would be good
special as opposed to just like a, not that there's anything wrong with a flat cookie. I have no problem with eating a cookie, but it's just like an extra fancy kind of, and they're really not that difficult. The difficult thing I think would be just the timing of it, because you want them to be fresh, but you don't want to be dealing with hot oil as you have guests or, whatever. So I think even if it's the same day, it'd be better. Elena did say in her recipe,
Dancing Elena,
she did say for best results, fill them just before serving. So that's why I gave you the pastry and then the filling separate, so you could pipe it yourself. Because if once the filling's in, it's going to soften a bit, right?
Yeah.
So you want to definitely fill them right before you eat them.
Easy thing to do with kids, like of any age. If you've already, obviously not the hot oil part, but the filling part, because it's so easy to just pipe it in and then dip it in what you want. I mean, if kids wanted sprinkles on the end or whatever, it'd be a fun little way to, I don't know, bake up some fun with your kids.
Yeah, I thought it was really, my kids had a lot of fun putting it together. And you know what? You were saying pipe it from both ends. We were able to pipe it from one end, and it pushed right through and actually fell.
I know. That's why I said don't do it that way, because it just goes right out the other side.
It's like, whoop.
Because I tried to do that too. And I was like, oh no, there's a reason she said to pipe it from either end.
Yeah,
it's great. A pretty pastry. It's, it's tasty. It's maybe not going to be like, wow, this is the most amazing thing I've ever eaten, but I think they're worth making.
I think it's impressive that you made them. People go to the store to buy them, right? So I think it's very impressive that you made them.
And I love that you made your own molds and everything. It was like 100% homegrown.
Totally.
It really was. And if you want to make them, you can borrow my molds anytime you want.
Did the 10th one ever show up again, by the way?
No. I think the cat rolled it off the counter and it disappeared.
That is really funny. I like that.
But you do not need 10 of these things. Even if you're going to buy them, you only need like maybe 4, because you get a couple ready. You got 1 or maybe 2 if you have a big pot going at once. You pull it out, only takes a couple minutes before you can pull them off. Like, you're not doing them in mass production.
Right. A really awesome treat.
That is a really fun, different thing to do for a cookie.
Would you make it again, Heather?
I would. I think I would. Yeah. I would just, I don't know. I think I'd maybe play around with different dough, like look up different ways to flavor that dough. Yeah. Because even though I liked it, I didn't think it really had much of a flavor. And I think you could play around with that, like make chocolate ones or, different.
Red velvet ones. You could do anything really with this. This sounds very fun.
All right, there you go. Cannoli. I don't know what the Italian expression. I feel like there should be something to say, but I don't know it.
Just like Mama
There's just
made.
A very big
just like
hand
Mama
gestures. Very big hand gestures.
Make them polite.
And now for the fine print. We at Three Kitchens gratefully acknowledge we are telling these stories in the traditional territories of the Treaty 7 nations in southern Alberta and the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. We honor the rich tradition of oral storytellers on this land who have come before us. You can find pictures and recipe links on Instagram and Facebook at Three Kitchens Podcast. If you like and subscribe on your podcast player, that helps more people find us.